Hard Rock Lunch Box.
The recording is in progress. We made it. Now, to be fair, I'm a minute early, which is about right. Let me start my video because that's something I should do. Arthur is here. I'm going to admit Arthur. I got everybody. Admit Arthur. And I'm going to admit, Arlene is here. Admit Arthur. So far, so good. This is looking good. I'm excited. I'm excited and live. I've admitted people. Hopefully I have everybody. Everybody with me? Arthur is connecting to audio. Ooh, suspense. That's the wrong button. My bad. Okay. I'm waiting on Arthur.
Let's go.
Arthur. I successfully have Arthur for lack of a term. I'm very excited. Thank you for being so damn prompt. Holy shit, we've got Chris too. I think this was successful. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you real soon. I want to thank you guys actually, because I don't know that you're aware of this very particular fact. You guys are my first Zoom-based meeting ever. Oh, yeah. So yeah, man, it's kind of a big deal. Like, we're doing a thing. Like, I've done phone interviews for a while, but now I kind of stopped doing it for a while. And then I had this opportunity to interview you guys, which is also, by the way, an interesting story. If we have time, we'll get to it. But thank you guys for being here. And if anything goes wrong, it's because I didn't set it up right. It's nothing you guys did. So that'll be cool.
Good.
Yeah, thanks. Cool.
Chris, I can't hear you.
Yeah, Chris is muted.
On.
Chris, you got to turn your mic on.
Hello? How's that?
There we are.
Hey.
Woo! So, like I said, I want to thank you guys for being here. I've basically crafted this new kind of interview sort of idea into doing like quick 20-minute interviews. And as I've said for years, like, I'm a working musician. I've done interviews. When we did our last record, I was doing upwards of like 100 to 200 interviews, some of them as long as 3 hours. And I was realizing I was putting way more into interviews than I was putting into shows or even writing the goddamn records. So I thought maybe doing something quicker would not only give everybody a chance to do it, because you can bang this stuff out like on a lunch hour or something, but it would pique the curiosity of everybody that's listening here, because the chat is already listening, and they're very excited. They hear people, they're very excited, and they can ask questions. And I thought that was just kind of the best way to do a live interview in 2021 going into 2022. But I want to thank you guys for being the guinea pigs, even if you didn't know that was coming. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have been the guinea pigs even if we didn't know, even if we knew. So it's fine. The answer is the same.
Would it have been more exciting to know you were being the guinea pig? Because I feel like I would have enjoyed that more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was like, okay, first round, let's do it. Yeah, right. How it goes.
Because if something's going wrong, it's definitely on the first episode, right? Like,
exactly.
Want to do that.
I also feel like as musicians, we all are fairly equipped to handle shit. Well, I didn't know that was going to happen. Like,
yeah.
Pretty well.
We've all showed up at shows and be like, "Hey, man, you said there was a PA and a drum kit here." Oh no.
No. We don't. Oh, PA, you didn't mean amps? No, I meant PA.
Yeah.
Oh, you asked if we had a backline? I thought you wanted a backline.
Yeah. See, like that's the one thing that, like, when musicians talk on interviews, like, we all know that stuff. We played a show once where the house kit, we were like doing a mini weekend tour, and we played a show, we pulled in, the house kit had been stolen the night before. So it was like, like, and, not many clubs have that backup kit. Like,
we played a show where, like, I usually book all our runs, so it was on our last run actually, and we were in, I think, West Virginia, Morgantown, West Virginia, and like, it was a super, super dope show, super fun, like, everyone there, good vibes all the way around. And I'm pretty sure, like, one of the bands the day of had messaged me, "Hey, is it cool if my band uses all your equipment?" And I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Can you I was like, can you elaborate? Because obviously I want to help them out. And they're like, yeah, your pedal boards, your drum kit, your stands, your cymbals, your snares, your amps, your pedal, like your instruments. And I was like, are you bringing anything? And they were like, no. And I was like, I have to ask. As far as bass gear goes, if you can bring a bass, you can use all my stuff. Like,
yeah.
But I just thought it was that stuff is hilarious to me because it's like you're a teacher and you show up without the lesson. So
right, but also it's like I mean, like that's the easiest way to tour. If I could tour in a VW Bug with my full band because I didn't have to bring any gear, like that's way easier. Like I didn't sleep all the way to South by Southwest because I couldn't find a comfortable position in my goddamn touring van because we brought so much gear. And like people that are just showing up, like, because I've had people ask to play my guitar and stuff, and I'm like, absolutely not. Especially if I have to play after. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be comfortable doing it anyway, but like, it's like, dude, like, and my drummer is great and very tolerant, and people ask to borrow his throne all the time. He generally draws the line at his snare. He has provided his cymbals from time to time, but only because he's a good guy. And it's like, we're trying to help out, like be a good show,
Yeah.
but we have absolutely been in those situations where people are like, can we borrow absolutely everything? And it's like, dude, absolutely not. Like bring something. Like you gotta do some of the work. Like it can't just be like 5 bands doing all the work and then 100 and million other bands like not doing the work.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm totally cool with. Yeah, I'm totally cool with letting anyone use anything except the cymbals. That's where I'm like, no.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, and it's great because I love watching Chris say no. It's almost like that scene in like the 3rd Mission Impossible where he's like reading his wife's lips. It's like I'm looking at the gestures and I know the conversation.
I know that.
The guy's like, so can I use your cymbals? And I see Chris do the half smile.
Sure.
It's always the same like opening too. They come up to me, they're like, hey, glad you guys can make it. I heard you guys are really good. I'm excited to see you play. And I'm like, oh, you're too nice.
Excited. Excited to see you play. I bet you are. Excited to see me play my own drums, are you? Yeah,
I'm excited to see you play your drums.
Yeah, but you know what I would be excited to see? It's funny. We were playing a show in Allentown, Pennsylvania with some friends of ours, a band called Autoerotica, and they're just like you probably, because you've toured, so you have like certain bands in certain towns where it's just like, thank God you're here, man. Like you just love those bands, like when you hook up with them. And it's like, so this is one of those bands. And the drummer, so we brought all of our gear because we do. And the drummer of that band just offered my drummer, he's like, do you want to use my kit? And my drummer's like, yeah, that'd be cool. Like I don't have to, but like it would be cool. Like I can use the kit and stuff. He's like, yeah, you could just use the cymbals too, so you don't have to pull them out of the van. And I just looked at him, I was like, you son of a bitch. You don't even have to pull your stuff out of the van. Like, go get my stuff. Go get my stuff right now out of the van.
No,
but that's rare.
Chris always gives a shit because I'm like, oh, my 4x12 is so heavy, and Chris is like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. We just switched over to like all direct stuff. So we're like 2 helixes and a GX for the bass and guitar. I have got to tell you now, we did that like a month into COVID, so we haven't done any touring, but like we've done 2 shows now post COVID, and we've loaded up the van, and I've actually had to like pack extra blankets in there to keep the stuff from moving because we now have more merch square footage than we do equipment. So yeah, the days of the 4x12s, and like we're just, like we've known those bass players with the big 8x10s. It's like, hey man, can you and 5 of your friends help me get this? It's like, no, dude. Like, you want to bring the low end? You got to bring the low end.
That'd be a great shirt.
Oh, absolutely.
And
people are bass players.
It's an Ampeg 8x10 next to a giant staircase.
Yeah. I've been there. I've seen it like at like Finnegan's Wake, or like even like the legendary Dobbs in Philly, like some of those places where you got to like go upstairs. Like you just look it over the bass player. It's like, how you gonna do that, man? Yeah. We'll go acoustic tonight.
Look at him. Godspeed, soldier.
Yeah. Get your brace out, put that on. Let me see if there are just any questions. Why exactly? Oh, so here's a question. I actually have a whole list of questions, but I get in a lot of trouble for ignoring the chat. Like, they're violent, and honestly, they scare me a little bit. So I just want to just check. But they ask, why do you hate playing Long Island? Is it the crowd or the venues? And I know that you guys just recently played at Amityville Music Hall, and I have my own thoughts on that. But the chat has asked, so feel free to answer.
I will actually take this question because I'm the person that said it.
I was wondering. I was like, I hate Long Island. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So,
Somebody's got to send Chris the memo. By the way, you guys hate Long Island, and you aren't alone.
Long Island is cool. I have a lot of friends there. Don't get me wrong. I when I said that, it was like a blanket statement, just kind of in passing. Didn't think much into it. And really quick, I want to say after I said it, I have a buddy from Long Island, Jerry, who plays in this band, and he immediately checked me and was like, "Yo, Long Island crazy. I'm telling you, it does not end well." And I was like, "No, I hear you, but I feel like to get to the root of the question, right? When I first started playing in bands, my first 12 shows like that I performed in were all at Amityville Music Hall.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it was like every single one. It was like I was one of my few bandmate members who drove, and so we would get caught in like rush hour traffic going to. I'd sit in traffic for like 2 hours, get to the venue, and being in a local band, sometimes it's hit or miss. Like there a handful of those shows, I want to say like it was 50-50. Half of them were like fair turnout, packed, and then the other half were like the promoter, the bar dude, and like their two friends. And I'm just like, and so it's just like driving along, I'm like, damn. And I see Amityville, and it just brings me back to a time in life where I'm like, I hated being in that band, and I hated this drive. I still hate this drive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So Chris, do you have anything to add to that, or do you want me to respond? I'm not about to defend Long Island, by the way. I'm about to agree with Arthur.
I have no problem with the Long Island scene.
I love it.
I gotta agree with Arthur. That drive is rough, and like where we're located, it's a drive that is very annoying, but it's not far enough that we could like justify getting a hotel or like staying the night. So it's that perfect level of this is too far for us to enjoy.
Yep.
But it's also not far enough to consider like a tour.
Right. And so from the perspective of the Long Island band, like we feel the same way. Like we have a 2 to 4 hour radius where it's just not worth us staying over. I mean, we will pull over, in a Jersey rest stop and enjoy the amenities there all day. Like it's just awesome. But I am fully well aware and fully well versed of how hard it is to navigate Long Island. And also Long Island is not a very good music market. It used to be, like I've been told it used to really be, but it's not anymore. There's a whole missing demographic. So that explains your 50-50 on what shows are gonna like happen, like what are going to be popular and whatnot. And it also depends on the bands. And you guys have been around long enough to know that not all bands are team players. In fact, most bands aren't team players. And we have a lot of that here on Long Island. And a lot of the bands here on Long Island that don't tour just don't ever leave the kind of fishbowl, like just don't really have that concept. So whenever we've done local shows and brought in other bands, like we are heavily promoting them. I mean, like I've got, the radio show, but I've also got a network of other bands that it's like, hey, this band's really good. I'm forcing them to come out here. Let's really step up and give them something, put them in a good place and let them do it, because we all know what that drive feels like. And we all know how much that sucks. And we all like, that's when we'll all get together and be like, we've got your cabinets, we've got your kit and stuff. So just come in one car, like, and it's
instruments. If you can get that all in one, get down here. And that's like, I will say, like we did, I remember I was playing in this other band back in like 2018, and we played this like backyard kind of festival thing with 1,000,000,001 local bands, and we knew none of them, but we knew one of them. And it was like the bands there were like, hey, you guys are from like upstate, right? And I was like, no, I'm right by the city, but and they're like, do you need anything? Like, need any gear, you need any, and so it was super. When you do find those like team players, those like friendly people, it's always appreciated. And then like I think Revolution was probably my favorite venue of the two to perform at, and that's no longer there. So it's like it sucks, but you know, like it is what it is. Obviously, with everything going on.
Yeah, Revolution was our home bar. Like, so when we lost that, that was a big kick in the dick for us. I mean, that was like our cheers. Like, you literally would walk in and the staff was like, "Thank God you're here." You know, like it was just so much fun. Like, our biggest shows ever were there, and like, you know, when we my friends, you guys know Bacon is my podcast, so you know Jimmy's band Craving Strange, like they were the first unsigned band to sell that place out. And it was for one of their CD release parties, and we were direct support for it. There were so many goddamn people in there that night that by 8:30 I had to go in the back because it was just a little too much for me. Just to have all that many people. And I was like, this is going to be a great show if I can keep from hyperventilating from all the people that are in.
No, but to put a nice big bow on that, we don't actually hate Long Island, and we'll definitely back. It was just me like bitching online, apparently. Like, not apparently. That's what it was. Like,
no, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it completely.
I'm the complainer of the band, and I'm usually on most of social media. So when you see things on there, 9 times out of 10 it's me. Depending on what platform, it might be Chris or Ryan or Coco. 9 times out of 10 it's me.
Right.
I think
that's good to know.
It was a throwaway tweet. We don't hate you, Long Island. I'm sorry if whoever asked that question is from Long Island. You have a lovely home. I'm not coming for you.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful here, except for the people and the traffic. Like, it's fine. But like, you know, so maybe like the next time you're coming down, like maybe we'll work something out. Like maybe we can sponsor you, or we can, you know, get it. Because the trouble we're having right now is finding, like I said, we lost a lot of our homes and stuff. I know we're playing somewhere in January. It's a lot closer to you. It's in Island Park. So that's
okay.
That would be a much closer run for you than Amityville. Plus, Amityville Music Hall has been getting, like, I haven't played there in about a year, no, two and a half years. And it's the feedback I'm getting back from the way it's being run is the reason I haven't gone back. So I don't know what's going on there or how it's working, but like, there are other places to play. And as we suss them out, like, I'll be sure and let you know, and definitely like have you guys come down, because it works better that way for everybody. Like, it's good for us to have people, you know, bands come in that people like, because then they're more, you know, psyched for the show. Like, we package ourselves with other bands as often as possible. Like, yeah, it's not just about us and stuff, but like, also we give our fans a better show for like $12. We give them 5 bands that we know they're gonna love, as opposed to like some of those city shows. It's like, cool, here's your country, you know, and then your industrial
alternative and like R&B, and we hope you like the bill. We didn't tell anyone about this show. Hopefully they bring like,
right. Those are fun for exposure, but like, you know, when you build a night, man, that's when people are there like from 7 to 2, and they're like, I am so tired because I stayed all night for, you know, $8. It's like, you are welcome. Like, so I actually did have some band related questions. I did. Yeah, like, honestly. And we actually are running on time, which always sucks because I could talk to you guys all day long, but half the reason we keep it at 20 minutes is so like we just find another time to have you on. But I had 2 questions specifically that I wanted to ask. And I never ask bands where they get their name from. Like, I just don't. I've had discussions with bands where I think they've made questionable choices. Like, my friends are in a band called Mother, and I was like, dude, if I Google Mother, like, you show up on page 42. Like, that's a terrible networking strategy. Now, I will say, when I do For Lack of a Term, first page. So I like that. But where, like, the next entry is For Lack of a Better Word, and then the Merriam-Webster dictionary of stuff like that. So where did it even come from?
All right. So me and Ryan were in like other projects before this, and in that project we never really came up with a name any of us like. So we kind of just always like back and forth of different ideas and stuff. And one of the things that me and Ryan really liked was Float. which stands for lack of a term.
Right, which I like. Because that's
Yeah.
how I saw you first. I'm like, Float, that's a cool name. And I was like, oh, it meant something. It's like, that's interesting.
Yeah, because before that, one of the like running choices we had was for lack of a better word or something, or for lack of a better term, something like
Right.
that.
Right, and
I was
that's
like,
what I saw.
That's too much. Yeah.
Right.
So we went with Float for like a while, but it seems like every few months or like once a year, another band comes out that's name is Float.
Yeah.
And at the time, our like, because we did everything through like CD Baby, all of our platforms would just get loaded with this other band stuff.
Yep.
And then like CD Baby was very terrible at helping with that. So they were like, we'll see what happens, but they're going to be sharing the page with you for a while. So that was nice. So we like sat down.
Hope you guys get along.
Yeah. So we like sat down. We were like, all right, we should come up with a name that is like at least more unique. And that's how we just decided
yeah,
take
well, I
that
like
acronym.
it.
Yeah.
Like I like it because you could find it. I wasn't sure if there was like some like somebody always said it. Sometimes it's a line in some weird movie that all of you saw one night.
Yeah.
Like, so I figured out as.
And then by that time too, I had joined, and I always like. I think it was just kind of like it was by chance at that point, but it was literally like we had gone through. I feel like Ryan and Chris were like the core of that project, and once my bands had fizzled out, I had like officially joined in like 2016. I want to say like around the 2016, late 2016, early 2017, and
That
it
seems
was like,
so long ago now.
yeah, right. we like.
I can't remember that far.
Right.
We had like worked on music with like our lineup prior to like now. We had worked on music with these two other guys, like and essentially like I don't even remember the exact like specifics of it, but once we like had literally finished the EP and everything, they were just kind of like, all right, I'm out. And they weren't feeling it. We're just like, I get it, but like shit, why did you just pay for this EP?
Right.
And so we had gotten our guitarist now, Connor, because he was my barista at this coffee shop I always go to, and I sold him my cab like a week before.
Nice.
And so it was also like a rebranding kind of thing too, because it was like, all right, this is our lineup, I guess. Let's see where it
Solid.
So it was like a perfect time for like rebranding and going into new music. So it definitely I'm for the name just holds a lot of it holds a special place in my heart. Like it's appreciated. I think we were growing up a little bit and didn't know it, but
that's awesome. Well, if it fits
beautiful.
you and it's something you can like get behind, like, yeah, man, then that's your war cry. Like that's what you're doing. All right. So I have one last question, and then I'm gonna have to have you guys back because I have like 15 other questions. So the Jawbreaker video. So I love that song. That song is actually why you guys are here, because I actually wanted to talk to you about like having like a PR company and stuff, because your PR lady, she did like the coolest move, because I was talking to her about like interviewing another band, and she was like, hey, you might like, For Lack of a Term, and she sent me the link and I listened to it. I'm like, you're right, I would like For Lack of a Term. So I listened to it and I was like, she just totally Jedi mind you. She was like, this is not the band you want to interview, this is the band. And I was like, that's like, yeah, when I'm looking for PR, like I'm definitely gonna have to like, hey man, remember that mind trick? I'm like, I need you to do that like 100 more times for me. So she sent me to the Jawbreaker video, and I dig the song. We've been playing it on the show here for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to ask two things specifically about it, because you have like, it's time framed, right? So it's just getting later and later and later as you guys are tripping more and more and more and more. So I wanted to ask, one, if you guys just actually did it all night like that, just to like see what you guys would look like at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then the other question I have is like, it's a very big nod at the end to A Clockwork Orange, but I don't know if that was an accident or you guys wanted to make it look like A Clockwork Orange at the end. So those two questions.
I think
so first off, that nod to Clockwork Orange is definitely our singer's idea.
Cool.
A lot of the lyrics were taken in inspiration from A Clockwork Orange, and I know he could speak better about that, but I know that like the book had like a lot to do with writing the song.
Oh, cool.
So when we were coming up with ideas for the video, he was like, oh, I can get this costume, like I know someone who actually has it, so I can just kind of put that little nod in, and I think it like fit pretty well.
Yeah, it's a great way to end it. I mean, it's totally that scene, because I was watching it, I'm like, is this kid even old enough to know what that is, or is it like some new thing that like I haven't even heard of? Or
fun fact, he's actually the oldest out of all of us. So.
He hides it well.
Someone's got to do it.
But yeah, I mean, that video was shot kind of not. It was coming out of pandemic, so we wanted to shoot like an energetic video for that song, but we couldn't exactly. We couldn't do like an actual live show because live shows weren't a thing yet.
Right.
So we kind of came up with the idea of like having the mannequins and giving the energy of like a live performance, but it would just be us basically.
Right.
Yeah,
I like the part where I guess your guitar player is like basically trying to hit on the mannequin and stuff like that. But he's like, I'm like watching, I'm like, that's funny. Like, I wonder how many people I know have done almost exactly that at 2, 3 in the morning.
The scene
deep Philly.
I think the scene that did it for me was the bathroom scene.
Oh,
so,
where he's waiting online for the bathroom?
Yeah, and he like opens the door, like sitting in there macking. He's like, fuck. It reminds me of it takes me back to like SpongeBob, like that one scene with Bubble Buddy. I don't know if you're into SpongeBob at all, or if
Bubble Buddy's lactose intolerant. I am very familiar with Bubble Buddy. Thank you.
And I'm like, what's taking him so long? And he pulls out the bubble, and he's like on a bubble. Like immediately, I just felt like that was ripped right from that like scene in the cartoon. But the other thing too, with like shooting the video, I think we shot it in reverse, if memory serves correctly. Like we started. I think the last scene in the video was like one of the first scenes we shot.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. So, and we had like worked into the night, but had like when we put it all together, it played out from the opposite end. So we actually didn't even. I think we were there pretty late, if I'm being honest. We were there pretty late, but we weren't like up till like 6, 7 in the morning, like trying to get it to go. Like.
I was curious. That would have been a cool thing because bands degrade steeply, as that gets later and later. So I thought it might have been kind of funny and be like, okay, it's 6:30, do the take. Absolutely. Let's go.
We did start very early in the morning, and most of us aren't morning people. So that exhaustion was definitely there.
Good. Yeah.
Because we did not stop filming till late at night.
Yeah, no, it was like, I think that shoot, like, I can't remember a lot of that shoot because if I'm being fully transparent, I'm not the video guy. Like, they're like, all right, time to do a music video. And I'm like, do I have to go? What time? Do I,
Cool. Let me know how it goes.
Yes, you have to be there. Like, it's not a question. Yes, you have to be there. And I'm like, I need to. Like, if I go right now, like, I need to. And they're like, yes. And then I get there and I twiddle my thumbs for like 20 minutes. But,
just like a show.
We shot the video, and I don't even think we started that, or I think we started at like 11 and we went to like what, 1 or 2, like it was like an all-day thing. We blocked.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
And we had our buddy Brandon shoot it, and like our buddy Nick from Another Astronaut come in. It was a good experience. But yeah, we shot it in the reverse order. I think some of those scenes actually, it's like daylight. We just covered up the windows so it looks like night.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I was just kind of curious because I like the timeline of it, and a lot of it felt familiar. So like, it's like, yeah, I've been in this place, been in that situation, been on that line. Like, just so I dug it. If anybody listening hasn't checked it out, oh, the chat approves, by the way, of SpongeBob. They actually said they watch SpongeBob, so I can have you guys back. Apparently, they have spoken, and that is the way. So that's super important. So if anybody listening has not checked out the Jawbreaker video, do that. You can go to, if you just search for lack of a term, you'll get to their Linktree page, and they have all that other stuff. I am going to end the interview because we ran 8 minutes over because I suck at time management, but I do want to say that their new record, Welcome to Your New Normal, is dropping like soon, right? Like this week, next
week. Yeah.
And then the release party is at Lucy's Lounge in Pleasantville. That's in New Jersey, right?
New York.
Oh, Pleasantville, New York. And that's on December 17th. And you can check that out. There's actually a whole release page. You want to search for them. They're on Facebook and all that other stuff. And we'll be talking about that. But I want to thank you guys so much for coming on the Virgin episode here of the maiden episode of the Talk 20 or the Talk 29, as the case may be. And I will definitely have you guys back because the chat has more questions for you. So I will schedule that with your publicity team. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Doesn't that
Thank
sound
you.
cool? Drop that shit. Be like, yeah, you can just speak to our publicity agent. Like, oh, excuse me.
Friends now, go straight to us. Hit us directly. We're not Hollywood. Come shoot me a message. Text, yo, what are you doing tomorrow at 1?
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Can't wait till I get that message from Arlene being like, no, you have to go through the, don't listen to Arthur. You have to go through the, don't listen to him. He hates Long Island. Like
Arlene is and she's definitely shaking her head, but I just want to put it out there for the record. Arlene's helped us out a lot and she's a good friend, and please don't hurt me, Arlene.
Yeah, see, me too. Arlene, same here. Thank you. So thank you guys so much. This has been Chris and Arthur for Lack of Return. We're going to be playing some of your music, and I hope to see you guys real soon, man. Have a good one.
Awesome. Thank you
Later,
so
guys.
much.
Bye.
Later.